In tonight's episode of In the NASCAR, I am going to be grading every full-time NASCAR Cup Series driver's 2023 season, and that will be coming up next. Let's get started with this video. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of In the NASCAR. And in tonight's In the NASCAR episode, I am going to be grading every NASCAR driver's 2023 season. And yeah, guys, I've done this back in June at the halfway point of the regular season, halfway point of the season back in June. And now, just a couple days before Thanksgiving, I am going to be grading every NASCAR driver's season for the first half and the second half combined. So yeah, now I'm gonna go ahead and start, and this is how I'm gonna be grading it. It's gonna be just like the one in the just like the one I did back in June. It's gonna be based off of results, um, average finish, how you did in the second half and the first half combined, and yeah, basically just summarize. Basically depends on how you did this season. So all events this season, all the races, that will combine how your grade each NASCAR driver's grade will be. So let's get started with this video, and I will be going in numerical order from 1 all the way up to 99. So yeah, so that's how I'm going to be doing this, and let's get started with Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain, he didn't have he didn't have as good of a season as he did last season, but he actually finished the season really strong with a win at Phoenix, dominated the second half of the race, one of the fastest cars. And with that, I am going to give Ross Chastain a solid B. Solid solid B for Ross Chastain. So yeah, I think he didn't have as many top fives and top tens as last year, but it's pretty solid for Ross Chastain. Solid way ending it. He didn't make as deep of a playoff run as he did last year. Last year made it all the way up to the championship four. This year got eliminated in the round of 12. So yeah, Ross Chastain, I'm giving him a B. Now we got Austin Cindric. This year for him has just been a sophomore slump altogether. Really worst points finish that he did last year. He finished 12th. I think he finished outside the top 20. He finished outside the top 20 in points. That's his definition of a big sophomore slump. For Austin Cindric, he finished 24th in the regular season standings. Yeah, hopefully he does better next year, but Austin Cindric, I have to give him a D for this season. So unfortunate. So for Austin Cindric, man, sophomore slump, only a top five this season. That ain't good enough at all. I think he had less top fives, less top tens, average finishes worse. Just overall, I don't think it's just a sophomore slump for him, for Austin Cindric. Now we got Austin Dillon. He gets an F. He gets an F, guys. Like, he DNF'd over, I think he DNF'd 10 times, somewhere around there. 10 times. That is atrocious. That is very atrocious for Austin Dillon. This is the worst season of his career, plain and simple. This has got to be the worst I've ever seen from Austin Dillon. He had that penalty he had earlier in the year, but he only has a top 5 finish. Only one top 5. And he has less top tens too. So I'm giving him an F. 29th in points. And when Kyle Busch, your teammate's literally far up there, you gotta be better than that, Austin Dillon. So even if it wasn't for that points position, he would still finish like in the 27th position. So Austin Dillon, man, F season overall for him. F. Now we got Kevin Harvick. His final season in the NASCAR Cup Series. I'm gonna have to give him a C+. A C+ for Kevin Harvick. My expectation for Kevin Harvick this year was to at least win a race and make the playoffs. He did one of them. He made the playoffs. Unfortunately, got eliminated in the round of 16, but didn't win a race, unfortunately. So, yeah. So Kevin Harvick, there was times this year where he was close to winning races. He has 6 top 5s on the year, and you know, Kevin Harvick, man, he has a really good solid amount of top 10 finishes too. So a pretty amount of top 10 finishes for him is because Storehouse Racing, I know that team has pretty much is pretty much in the merge of you know what is a mess over there. But yeah, Kevin Harvick in his final season, giving him a C plus. Kyle Larson, he gets an A on the year. Listen, I know the guy has like more DNFs, like has been DNF. It's been either a wreck or it's either been checkers or wreckers for him. But Kyle Larson's been one of the most fastest drivers this season, and he made it to the championship four. So I gotta give credit to Kyle Larson, man. His team executed really well. Larson's been having has been having rocket ships of race cars. 15 top fives this year. That is incredible for him. Um, 4 wins, an All-Star race win too. So overall, a season for Kyle Larson. Made it to the championship four with that Vegas win. So yeah. Now we got Brad Keselowski. Now we got Brad Keselowski. This season was way better than last year, even though he didn't have a win. Keselowski finished 8th in the regular season standings with a total of 7 top 5s. And yes, I am looking this up on the NASCAR app. It didn't show you how much top 10s, but it does show you like top 5s, wins, and stage wins. He has a total of 6 stage wins on the year, and Keselowski, for that, I'm giving him a B. For Brad. And yeah, Brad Keselowski, dude, that is amazing, amazing season for his standards. Well, good season for his standards, and for RFK in general, trying to rebuild that organization. I expect RFK to be a winning threat next year, and I mean a very big winning threat. So Keselowski, yeah, I'm giving him a B on the year. 7 top 5s, and good job, Brad. Good job, Brad. He was close to winning Atlanta. There was times where he was close to winning this season. It's just it hasn't happened yet. But I got a feeling Brad's gonna win a race next year. I have to think Brad's gonna win next year. I'm gonna pick him to win a few races. Pick him to win races next year. So stay tuned for my winners prediction. That will be coming out in at least a couple months before the Clash. Well, it'll be out at least a few weeks before the Clash. So yeah, it'll be in January. So now we got Corey LaJoy. I'm actually gonna give him a C. Corey LaJoy, dude, 25th in points. He got a promotion to go drive for Hendrick Motorsports, like for when Chase Elliott got suspended. Like every time when you do that, when Hendrick Motorsports promotes you from one team to another, that should tell you something right there. So yeah, C plus for Corey LaJoy. I'm giving him a C plus for him. Now we got Kyle Busch, and yeah, 3 wins in his first year of Richard Childress Racing. He was one of my picks to make it to the championship four, and that aged quite well in the round of 12 to say. And Kyle Busch for the first half of the season was on fire. I gave him an A, but the second half of the season has just been really slow for him. It's just the summer he hasn't been consistent, and yeah, he has those 3 wins. But ever since the second half of the season, he's just been slow at times. And yeah, so Kyle Busch, man, second half of the season was a little slow, so I'm gonna give him a B, a B, a B, borderline B minus on the year. So yeah, but overall, I would say a solid season for Kyle Busch. Very solid season in his Richard Childress Racing era, and I can't wait to see what he can do in the next seasons to come. Now we got Chase Elliott. He missed the playoffs. He was out for 7 races, 6 due to injury and 1 during suspension. Um, yeah, the guy he has 7 top 5s on the year, but ever since then he has had good cars. I think he had a good car at Richmond. There were some times where his car looked like he was in threat for the win, but things just haven't gone his way, and so because of that, Chase Elliott, I'm giving him a C on the year for Chase Elliott. So yeah, so yeah. Now we got Eric Almirola. He's finished 22nd in points. He only had 2 top 5s on the year, I believe. I think his closest chance to win was Martinsville. Obviously, this is his final season, so Yeah, no, I really didn't have anything much for Almirola this year, so I'm giving him a C as well for Eric Almirola. So, yeah. Now we got my favorite NASCAR driver, Denny Hamlin, and oh my gosh, if it wasn't for Homestead where he had that steering issue and him hitting the wall right there, he would have made it to the championship for gosh, if it wasn't for Homestead, but yeah, he finished fifth in the standings for the second straight season in a row, but 14 top fives, 3 wins, 8 stage wins. I'm giving him a B plus. I can't quite give him an A because he's not making it to the championship four, but I would say this is a very great season, good season for Denny Hamlin, and no reason to put your head down. The guy has 51 career wins. Really have high hopes. I have high hopes. He's gonna do really good next year, and who knows? He has a lot of momentum and his branding as well. And I feel like something about Denny Hamlin. I feel like he is strongly motivated for next year. So keep an eye out for him. He's gonna be extremely motivated for next year, and I cannot wait to see what he can do next year. So yeah, go 11, go Denny. So yeah, now we got the champion Ryan Blaney, A plus. Like in this playoffs, the 12 team is the number 1 driver that executed perfectly. I had this guy eliminated from the round of freaking 16. I had him eliminated the first round of the freaking playoffs. And he blew me out of the water. He by far exceeded my expectations by like a ton. Sure, he won that Coca-Cola 600 win, but playoffs over the summer he's been slow. But gotta give credit to that 12 team and Ryan Blaney, man. He's been really great job at executing races, especially over the past 10, over the final 10 races. Winning at Talladega, which I was there when he won in person. Just that team pretty much executed very well. And in these playoffs, you have to execute races well, and that's what the 12 team did. So great job, Blaney. You get an A plus. Congratulations on being the 2023 champion. Now we got Chase Briscoe. Man, talk about a roller coaster from an A plus F for Chase Briscoe. Complete F. So, yeah, man, he finished worse than Austin Dillon, but he has 4 top 5s. He was at least before that penalty he had that completely destroyed his season. He had like 4 top 5s and he was right there by the cut line, but man, I tell you what, ever since the L3 penalty, he has not looked good at all. So, yeah, he did win 1 pole though, so that's something to put your head on high for. But I can't give him anything higher than an F because of how abysmal he finished in the point standings and how he just hasn't been. So sorry, Chase Briscoe, but I have to give you an F. Now we got AJ Allmendinger, and Allmendinger, man, I he was one of my picks to make it to the playoffs this year, and man, he was on the old. I expected him to win on the road courses before the playoffs started. I expected him to win at least one of the road courses, but he wasn't anywhere close. I don't think he managed to get a single top 5 on the road. Wait, I think he got a top 5 at Watkins Glen, but other than that, he hasn't been really in contention. But he did get that win at the Roval. That saved him from. I'm giving him a C plus on the year for Allmendinger. I can't give him a B. I expected him to at least make it to the playoffs. Thought he had a little bit more speed, but hey, man. And unfortunately, he's not going to be back in the 16 next year. So, man, it sounds like he's not going to be back in the 16 next year. So, man, um, that sucks. He has 4 top 5s on the year. Finished 21st in the standings. Yeah. So, yeah. Now we got Chris Buescher. Made to the round of 8, 3 wins. And for RFK Racing, incredible, including 2 back-to-back and beating in a dual battle with Martin Truex Jr. for that Michigan win that he had. And he had 9 top 5s, 3 wins. I'm giving him a B plus. That is amazing for what Chris Buescher did this year. Um, B plus on the year for Chris Buescher, man. Absolutely phenomenal second half of the year. And I mean phenomenal. He was above the cut line heading into above the cut line before those wins, and now second half of the season, RFK Racing went up, and I don't expect him to go down from here. RFK Racing, I can't wait to see what they can do in the future. Chris Buescher, man, good season and great job by you guys. I'm giving you guys a B plus on the year. Now we got Martin Truex Jr., dude. Oh no, the guy Truex, he was good. I gave him an of A back in June, but these playoffs have been atrocious, and it's not his fault. And it's not Truex's fault. It's stupid crap keeps happening to him. So Darlington didn't have a good car. Kansas crashed down on lap 3 to a tire failure. Bristol didn't have a good car. Texas spun out, and I think he never recovered. He was like in the teens. Talladega, he was probably back in the pack. Charlotte Roval didn't have a good car. Um, Las Vegas got that top 10. Homestead had engine trouble, and he had that speeding penalty at Martinsville. That pretty much ended his playoffs at all. These playoffs returns have treated him like crap, garbage. So, unfortunately, Martrex Jr., I have to give you a B minus here. Your playoffs have just been abysmal, and I'm sorry, man. It's not your fault, but dude, you won the regular season championship, and you fell back to 11th in points. Talk about an absolute drop of a drop from the standings. It's amazing how he just dropped from first all the way to 11th in 10 races. That's how these playoffs have been the tricks. But I think he at least got a top 10, two top 10s at Vegas and Phoenix. I think he finished up Phoenix strong, I think, with the top 10, I believe. So, yeah. Now we got Christopher Bell. He won 2 races, one at Bristol Dirt, and then Homestead to clinch his ticket to the championship for. Look, is Christopher Bell the new Rocket Man? Because in the playoffs and qualifying, he has been putting up fast laps, and I mean fast laps. It's just in the races, like earlier in the playoffs, his team just pit crew hasn't been really executing, but I think they turn it around. Bell was able to make his way up to the round of 8, and then with that win, make it to the championship 4. But unfortunately, crashed out with that brake rotor at Phoenix. So yeah, um, so with him making it to the championship 4 for the second year in a row and clutching his way in, I'm giving him an A minus here because I can't give him an A because of that tire because of him crashing out, but I'm not finishing the season strong, but A minus. And like I said, that incident was not his fault, but unfortunately, it just depends on how your way goes. But A minus here, but still very solid season for Christopher Bell, and looking forward to see what he can do with two wins and making it to the championship 4, executing in the playoffs. You get a good grade. You get a really amazing grade. So yeah. Now we got Harrison Burton. He was he was worse than last year. He was a little worse than last year. 31st in standings, 0 top 5s. His only bright spot was Tarlington in the spring race. So yeah, that's an F. F on the year for Harrison Burton, man. He needs to do better. If I don't see nothing out of Harrison Burton next year, he needs to go back to the Xfinity series. Like he can be in there for one more year, but if he doesn't do anything, if he does this bad, I better see improvement. I really want Harrison Burton to improve next year. So yeah, but he gets an F on the year. Just not good. He's finished worse than Todd Gillen, Chase Briscoe, Austin freaking Dillon. So that was how bad he was. That was how bad Harrison Burton was this year. And I mean bad. So yeah. Now we got the defending champion, Joey Logano. His teammate Blaney won the championship, but Joey Logano, man, the speed from him this year was just not there at all. Like, I think the only time he had speed was at Pocono until he crashed out at the start of stage 2. And it's just, sure, he had like 11 top 5s on the year, but that was mostly at the start of the season. But, ugh, when you're the defending champion, you have high expectations. And, yeah, so, with you finishing 12th in the standings, Joey, and it's not because I dislike you, It's not because you're my least favorite driver, but I have to give him a C plus on the year. When you're the defending champion, you have really high expectations. You're practically a driver that's supposed to win like a bunch. And when your teammate Blaney won the championship, and waited the championship for, that should speak to you right there. So yeah, that's why I'm giving Joey Logano a C plus. So yeah. Now we got Bubba Wallace. I had a feeling, I knew he was going to make it to the round of 12. I predicted him to make it to the round of 12. I was right. He did about just what I expected from him from this year. I knew he was going to make the playoffs. I knew he was going to make it to the round of 12. He met with my expectations perfectly. So Bubba Wallace, I'm giving you a solid B on the year. Very good year for him. I cannot wait to see what he can do. He just missed that win. He just missed that win. Could have made it to the round of 8. Think about it. He could have made it to the round of 8. So yeah, so man, there were some times where he was so close to making it, especially Texas, but man, Bubba Wallace, very proud of him, especially with him being one of my favorite drivers. So, Bubba Wallace, dude, you get a B on the year. You just missed that one win. Man, I have a feeling Bubba's going to win a race next year. 2311 Racing is improving and improving by the minute. Now I got William Byron, no question. I'm giving him an A. Made it to the championship four, most wins this season. Um, tied with the most top fives this season. Stage wins with 9. Just a solid year. Breakout year for William Byron. A, good job, dude. Keep up the good work, bro. Keep up the good work, Byron. So, yeah. Um, so I gotta say, Byron had a really good season, and I'll see what he can do next year. So, yeah. So now, the number 31, going in numerical order, Justin Haley. He's going to Rick Ware Racing next year. I really didn't see any improvement for him. He practically did just about the similar. He did practically just about the same, maybe a little worse than last year. He ended up finishing. I'm not sure where he finished. I'm looking at the standings right now. He finished. Where did he finish? I don't even see him. Oh, 26 in points. But that is even below Corey LaJoy. So I'm sorry, Justin Haley. I have to give you a D plus on the year, dude. I think at Super Speedways he really wasn't even in the contention at all. So yeah. I feel like that we're going over the Rick Ware racing next year might have cost him. Not sure, but might cost him. So yeah, but Justin Haley, I'm giving you a D plus on the year. Keep giving you a D plus on the year. He had one top 5 on the year. Yeah. So yeah, Justin Haley. Other than that, I haven't really. He's probably done a little worse than last year from what I've seen. So yeah. Now we got Michael McDowell. The guy's done great this year. Um, he made it into the playoffs, executed well. I'm giving him a B. Michael McDowell won and dominated the third stage, practically dominated the road course, Indianapolis road course race. Um, yeah, he ended up finishing 15th in the regular season standings, well, with the playoffs. 2 top 5s on the year, 2 stage wins, a win at the Indianapolis road course. Great season for Michael McDowell for him. Second time making the playoffs of his career. I'm giving him a B. So now we got Todd Gilliland. He obviously wasn't in his car. He wasn't in his original car full time, but he did. There was some flashes of him this year. So you know what? I'm gonna give him a C on the year for Todd Gilliland. Been that little quiet. He's been that quiet furniture. Well, not furniture. I don't know why did I say furniture. Front row racing guy. And there's been some flashes of him earlier in the year, but other than that, towards the second half, he was starting to slowly die down. So you know what? I'll give him a C on the year for Todd Gillen. Ryan Preece, man, Ryan Preece was really tough, and for his toughness this year, um, I'm gonna give him a C plus on the year for Ryan Preece just because of how tough he had to go through. Um, Toughness. After that big flip that he had at Daytona, dude. Ryan Preece is tough, and I really like the mentality he has. I truly like the mentality the guy has. I have a lot of respect for Ryan Preece. Um, Really solid race car driver. I know the equipment over there at Storehouse Racing isn't really the best, but very solid job for Ryan Preece this year. I'm giving him a C plus. So yeah, he did win a pole at Martinsville in the spring race. So yeah, he did finish just a few points, just like did finish underneath his teammate in points, so he's like 23rd. So yeah. Now we need to talk about Noah Gragson. He was originally supposed to run full time, but then after the whole controversial thing that happened and all like back in Michigan with Noah Gragson, the whole controversy happened. Big fat F for Noah Gragson's rookie season. One that we absolutely need, absolutely he has to forget about and move on. Noah Gragson's rookie season was absolutely atrocious, and Legacy Motor Clubs this season has been freaking horrible this year. So yeah, enough said there for Noah Gregson. Now we need to talk about Eric Jones. Dude, if it wasn't for that one top five he had on the year at Kansas, I would have given him an F. But I gave him an F at the start at the first half of the year. But the second half he improved. He improved his finishes. Especially at Phoenix, I think he was in the top 20. But yeah, but Eric Jones, dude, man, if it wasn't for that one top five and a few top tens towards the second half of the season, he would have gotten an F. He works hard. His team was worked hard enough to the point where I'm gonna give him a D minus on the year. So yeah, so Eric Jones works it. So Eric Jones, I cannot wait for him to be in a much better position when that team switches over to Toyota, which they're practically working on that right now. When they go to Toyota next year, they're going to be in a much better spot. And especially after when the announcement happened with Chevrolet backing up and leaving and not having any support for them, that pretty much derailed Legacy Motor Club's season. So yeah, Eric Jones, D minus on the year for him. Now we got Tyler Reddick B plus. The guy has 2 wins, first year of 2311 Racing, made it all the way up to the round of 8 like I predicted, and he finished 6th in the standings. And Tyler Reddick, dude, one of my favorite drivers as well. B a B plus on the year, finishes 6th in the standings. This is a really solid first season for 2311 Racing for Tyler Reddick, and he's gonna go up from here. So Tyler Reddick, B plus. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., the Daytona 500 winner, I'm giving him a B as well. Look, even I feel like if he wouldn't even made that, if he wouldn't have won Daytona, he would have made the playoffs regardless because he was basically top 16 in points all year. That was just how good, especially for a JGG Doherty car. That is impressive for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., dude. Impressive season for him. Congratulations to Stenhouse on winning the Daytona 500, dude. He gets a B, giving him a B on the year for Stenhouse. Alex Bowman, man. Dude, he was worse than Chase Elliott this season. Altogether worse. I'm gonna give Alex Bowman, dude. He has only 4 top 5s on the year, which I think that most of them came in like the first half before he got injured. But ever since he got injured, he has not looked like himself at all. So I'm gonna have to give Alex Bowman a D plus. Now that might be too much, but from how I felt this season of him making, especially with that movie made on Daniel Suarez at Darlington, stuff keeps happening to him. So and gosh, dude, Alex Bowman, I felt bad for what he's gone through this year, but due to on-track performance, especially in the Hendrick car, like I said with Joey Logano, when you're in a Hendrick car, well, Logano's the champion, so he obviously has higher expectations. But when you're in a Hendrick car, you have high expectations to do good, even though when you're kind of recovering back. So for that, I'm giving Alex Bowman a D plus on the year. Now we got the Rookie of the Year, Ty Gibbs. The guy clearly was just not like what I expected. I didn't think he would have made the playoffs. I think he feel like he would have just got a few top fives, some top tens, maybe contend for wins here and there. This is just what I expected from Ty Gibbs this year. Solid, very solid. This is his rookie season. Didn't literally let me down this year. Really solid expectations for Ty Gibbs. He met my expectations perfectly. So for that, I'm giving him a B. Solid rookie season for Ty Gibbs, especially for him being a rookie. Didn't make the playoffs, but That's what I expected. He was a rookie year in the next gen era. He was close. He was close a few times, but he's I feel like next year he's gonna have more chance and he's probably gonna make the playoffs next year. He might make the playoffs next year, guys. He might. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah. Ty Gibbs, I'm giving him a B on the year. There are only two drivers left. Now I gotta talk about Ty Dillon, Inspired Motorsports for 77. He gets an F. Last in the standings. He's been worse. He's horrible. And now I think I heard that he's going to colleague racing. Why? Why is he going? What has he done? What has the guy done to be back in colleague? Even when he's in the top tier car, I think he'll still do bad. So, ugh, dude. I've lost faith in Ty Dillon, dude. He's not really good at all. I'm giving him an F. Horrible. Now we got the last driver, Daniel Suarez. Borderline at a D. C minus on the year for Daniel Suarez. There he like I said, I think he had some moments but of running good, but she has just not been like him. I just don't feel like he was. I think his closest chance was the Indianapolis road course. He was at the start of the year. He was in position to make the playoffs. He was like just below the cut line. Now, when the summer started, he has just been progressively gotten worse. So I'm not have no choice but to give Suarez a C minus on the year. So yeah, hopefully he can do better next year. And yes, guys, that is it for every driver I have graded based on performance. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know which ones you guys agree with and or disagree with me. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And anyways, this is Preston signing off. Peace out.